tonight is around our secret ingredient, and a lot of you guessed it, is asparagus. So I'm going to share my first recipe is asparagus and salmon, and that we're going to cook in the oven, and then we'll head over to my daughter Ciara, and she'll share a recipe, and then we'll come back here to finish up. So each recipe has asparagus in it, and so like I said, tonight I'll be sharing asparagus with salmon, and I've already cut up my salmon fillets. So I get them from Costco. So I just cut it up in fillets, and then this is a really simple recipe. It calls for ricotta cheese, some Parmigiano Reggiano grated cheese, fresh basil, some salt and pepper, lemon zest. And then there's like a sauce that goes over, and we just use some chicken broth, butter, and some cornstarch to thicken it up. So the first thing we do, I'm gonna get the salmon on the side here. The first thing we need to do is make our stuffing, which is the ricotta cheese. And the recipe calls for a 12-ounce container, but these containers are 15 ounces. So I just use the whole thing because I don't know what I would do with 3 ounces left of ricotta cheese. So I just use the whole thing that goes right into our That's a bowl here. And then we're gonna put in half a cup. I've already measured it out. Half a cup of grated Parmesan cheese. If you don't find the Parmigiano Reggiano, you can just use just regular cheese. And then we need 2 teaspoons of a lemon zest. That goes right in here.
Fran, I had to mute everybody, and it muted you. Can you unmute yourself? Sorry.
Okay.
Thanks.
So are we still at the lemon zest?
Yeah.
The zesting? Okay, perfect. So I'm just gonna put in 1, I just zest the whole lemon. And then the salt and pepper is to taste. And then we're gonna chop up some fresh basil. We need 2 tablespoons of the basil. Almost done here. And for this recipe, and then we need, of course, our fresh asparagus, and we're gonna roll it up. It's like salmon rolls. And this recipe, you could heat up some marinara sauce if you want to change it up. Like if you have leftovers, and you can add some marinara sauce over it. Serve it with some pasta, or you can substitute the salmon and use chicken breast with that. And then we just need some salt. I just put a little bit of salt and pepper in the mixture because we're gonna salt and pepper the salmon also. And then our basil. Already washed and cleaned the basil here, and I'm gonna chop it up in our chopping prep. And so, like, all of the ingredients, there are guidelines to this. So for this recipe, if you have a little bit more or just a little bit less, you'll be fine. So we just chop it up like that. And then we need, oh, it smells so good. 2 tablespoons. And this is that's about 2 tablespoons. Goes right in there. So we got the ricotta cheese, salt and pepper, basil, and the lemon zest, and we just mix this all up. You could even use this recipe here for the filling for like to stuff pasta shells. So you want to get it mixed up fairly well. Get the lemon zest mixed up and the basil mixed up right in there. And then I use the cover. I use the cover from our lasagna pan. We'll just stick it right here. I use the cover from the lasagna pan. So all we're going to do now is take a salmon fillet, take a piece, put it face down. If you have skin, if your salmon has skin, they say to put the skin facing up. And then we're going to just salt and pepper our salmon. And then we're going to put some filling right inside, right in the center. And then I take about 3 to 4 asparagus, and I've already washed it, but I did not cut off the ends. So you want to cut off the ends of the asparagus. So about 3 or 4. Then you're going to put it right in the center there. And when you roll it over, it's not going to meet up because it's really stuffed. So, can you see that? And then when you put it in the cover, you're going to put it in the cover with the open ends down. So just like that, with the open ends down. And then you repeat the process. If you want to, I've done it once before where I've used toothpicks to close it together, but I mean, it's not it really didn't make a big of a difference by just flipping it over in the pan. And then you forget that there's the toothpick. So when you're eating it, you find a toothpick and you're not actually ready for the toothpick. And then, so I'm going to go ahead and finish rolling up the salmon. And the oven was preheated to 425. And then it's going to cook for about 15 to 20 minutes. And it's really just to get the salmon cooked. The asparagus will be cooked in the 15 to 20 minutes. So I'll go ahead and roll the rest of my my salmon, get it up in the oven, and then we'll see the reveal all at the end. So we'll go over to Ciara for her recipe.
Hi, Ciara.
Hi.
What you making tonight?
Okay, so I'm gonna do a creamy asparagus salmon pasta. So just a little disclaimer. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me just remove my Walmart wrap. I had to rearrange my setup because I realized you couldn't see anything I was doing. So I'm gonna have to look at this. And then second disclaimer, I watched my mom just chop the ends of her asparagus and realized I probably should have cut off a little more. So we're just gonna get started. I've already seasoned my salmon. So I'm gonna be using my multi steamer and also my Micro Pro grill. So I've already seasoned my salmon. So I'm gonna just lay them in the bottom here. And then this is gonna cook for about 5. What, Mom? Oh,
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I was like, I don't have to preheat my oven. So then you're gonna place your salmon in there, and then you want to make sure it's in the grilled setting, so it's touching. And this is gonna go in the microwave for about 5 to 7 minutes, depending on probably how big your salmon fillets are, and then the power of your microwave. So I always like to start it off on the lower time frame that way, because you can always add minutes, you can never take it away. So we'll put it in for 5 minutes first, we'll check it, and then if we need to add an additional 1 to 2 minutes, we can totally do that. And then while that's going, I'm gonna start on my pasta. pasta and asparagus. Let me turn it this way so you guys can see. So I've already measured out 2 cups of water. So 2 cups of water and 2 cups of bow tie pasta. Probably a little more than 2 cups. And then I already measured out my 2 cups of water. And then, oh no, good thing I changed my setup because I was using one of my bowls as a stand. And then I'm gonna take my colander and I'm gonna place it on top. I cut about 2 cups of asparagus and I already lightly seasoned it with salt, but totally up to your taste. And then we're just gonna place it in the top here. And then you also want to make sure that not all of the holes are being covered so that it can fully steam. And then once my salmon's done, this will get popped into the microwave for about 10 to 13 minutes. Same thing, it just depends on microwave. And then you can always add extra time. You can never take it away. And then I think my mom's still wrapping up hers. So we can talk a little bit about my sauce that I'm gonna make. Super simple. It's just gonna be 2 cups of heavy cream, 2 zests of a lemon, and then I also have some Parmesan cheese and olive oil. So we'll just kind of start going slowly. I realize I kind of going a little fast. So I do have my little pot here, so I'll just add the heavy cream and then we can just kind of see where my mom's at in a second. But so 2 cups of the heavy cream, and then you're gonna wanna, so it's about the entire small carton. So I'm just gonna put it all in there because what am I gonna do with a little extra? And then this will go on the stove. Let me see. Yes, because we want to bring this to a boil and then we'll reduce it to a simmer and then we'll add the rest of our ingredients. But I do want to tell you a little funny story. I'm pretty sure, where's the rest of this set? And Tina, please correct me if I'm wrong. This is a zester. So I don't even know how long ago this was. I've had this for a while now. And for the longest time, I thought it was a can strainer. And I couldn't find it one day. And I think I was up here, up in Alaska. And I asked my mom, hey, did you take my can strainer home with you? Because I can't find it. And she was like, I didn't take your can strainer. And I said, yes, it's blue. There's little I don't even know what they're called, like little grooves in here. And she's like, that's not a can strainer. But
I was like, Tupperware doesn't sell a can strainer.
I was like, yes, I was adamant. But so in case you need a can strainer, this will fit on a good amount of cans. And if not, you can just stick the can part right over and it's the same thing. I know that's not what it's for, but innovating here. And then, so when you're grating your lemon zest, you just want to make sure you don't get, you want to grate it until you get to the white, but you don't want to grate the white part. So you'll just, I already grated one of them, so it's all in the bottom here. So this is just my second one. Once the pasta, which the stove's not even on, once the heavy cream turns into a boil, we'll turn it down to medium, low to get it to a simmer. And then we will add in our lemon zest, our Parmesan cheese, a little bit of olive oil, and we'll also break up our salmon and throw that in there as well. And then once that kind of all meshes together, then we'll throw in our pasta, and then we'll also throw in our asparagus. But we can check on our our salmon. And I realized you won't be able to see. Let's see. Okay. Kind of see there. Okay. I guess I should have used this when I took it out. So as always, you want to open it away from your face so the steam doesn't bombard you. But we can give you an up close and personal. So one of my salmon fillets was a little bit bigger than the other, so you can kind of see the different color on the one on this side, but it does look good. So we're gonna end up breaking this up. That way when we do toss it into our sauce, you kind of get a bite of salmon with every little bit of pasta and asparagus. So I'm gonna let this cool off a little bit before I do break it up. And then we do have our sauce on the stove going, and then I'm just zesting my second lemon here. And then once that's done, we'll mix it all together. But I'm gonna stick my pasta and my asparagus in the microwave for about 10 minutes. We'll check the asparagus because you want it to be cooked, but you don't want it to be crunchy or super soggy. So we'll stick this in there for 10 minutes and then we'll check it. How are you doing, Mom?
I'm good. I can start the next one. So I got the salmon in the stuffed salmon asparagus in the oven right now. And for this next recipe, the next recipe is called chopped asparagus salad. So there's no cooking to this recipe. You don't have to cook anything except we have to boil some water because we need to blanch the asparagus for the salad. So I have the water boiling on the stove right now. And then I'm gonna prepare the ingredients here. These are all fresh ingredients here. I have about half a pound to quarter pound of asparagus that I've already cut off the ends. And then you're gonna need a colorful bell pepper, like a red, orange, or a yellow one. Tonight I'm using a yellow one because most of my cherry tomatoes are red, and you need also a red onion. And they call this a red onion, but it sure looks purple to me. Doesn't that look purple to you guys? But it is called a red onion. I always think that when a recipe calls for a red onion. Half of a red onion, 1 cucumber, but what I have are these mini cucumbers. So I have about 5 of them. I figured that makes up for 1 cucumber. And then 1 carrot, and I have these little carrots. And then we have to just chop everything up, and I'm gonna toss it all into our that's a bowl here. But so I'm gonna cut the asparagus when the water is ready, so I can just pop it in. So for the onion, for the half of the onion, I just cut it in half on the long way, and then we're gonna slice it. And you could use the the Power Chef system to do this. But I like to just chop it up this way because everything is the same size. So it's just more for look than anything else. But you can most definitely use the Power Chef system to chop it all up if you don't care about the size. So that's half of an onion. Red onion, and we're going to just toss it in the bowl. And then we need about half a cup of a colorful bell pepper. So I'm just going to use half. And even this, I cut it into about the same size slices, long way, and then I chop it the short way to get it, again, as best as possible, the same size. And then what I like about this recipe, and even like the 3-bean salad recipe, is that you can add to it. So this is a great meal prep recipe. So you can start off eating it just the way we're going to prepare it tonight. And then you can meal prep your lunches for the rest of the week, and you can add protein to it. So you could add like maybe some chicken to it, some grilled chicken one day. You could add some salmon to it, tofu to it. And the other thing that I like to add to it is artichoke hearts. The recipe doesn't say it, but you could add artichoke hearts to it. So you could get, you know, lunch, a different variation of lunch each day with this recipe by adding to it. So we got the onions and bell peppers, and then we need some cherry tomatoes. So I cut some already, but these are the tomatoes that I buy from the store. These are the colorful ones that have yellow and like a really deep red, the regular red, and some orange ones in there. And it just makes it really pretty. So again, if you just have the red cherry tomatoes, that's perfectly fine. But just all of the colors makes it really pretty and just really inviting to want to eat vegetables. And then for the cucumber, I'm just gonna slice this up also, just write it down. So if you had a big cucumber, you would half it and then quarter it and then chop it. But these are pretty small, so I'm just gonna slice it into about the same size circles. And then the recipe also calls for some roasted peppers, a 1/4 cup of roasted peppers. And these were the peppers that I found, Mezzetta. I love their yellow peppers, they're hot yellow peppers, but that's the yellow peppers I found. Well, not I found, my husband went shopping today for them. He found them in the, where did you go, Safeway or Big Safe? Oh, he's lost. I lost him. I think he went to Safeway today. So we don't have lots of variation or choices to shop here on Kauai. We have Safeway, Times, and Costco. We do have Costco. Now for the carrots, because they are challenging to chop, these small ones, I am gonna toss them in the PowerChef system. And chop these up. What are you guys having for dinner tonight?
Fried akuli.
Oh, yeah. So do you guys see that? I just chopped it up. That is a whole lot easier. And the orange just really gives it color. And then we have to chop up our 1/4 cup of roasted, roughly chop our roasted peppers. And then the other thing that this recipe calls for is I love this PowerChef system and my chop and prep. Let me get this right in here. Okay, let me just run down this recipe again. So I got the carrots, the cucumbers, red onion, tomatoes, bell peppers. It also calls for olives, which I have here. It calls for 1/2 cup of black olives. And honestly, we're probably just gonna use all of the olives. Yes, because there's just a few left. And then it also calls for radish, so that red radish, and we could not find any of it here at this time. So we're gonna leave that out, the red radish, and then a can of chickpeas. So anytime I was reading that anytime you use like beans, kidney beans, chickpeas, or black beans, like in a recipe like this, you want to be sure to rinse it really well and get all of the juices out, and not to use the juice in this recipe. We're gonna do a vinaigrette in here. And this is a Tupperware colander. It's a very old colander. I don't have the new one in my kitchen, but this is a Tupperware colander. So I already have the chickpeas rinsed out. And we're gonna add that right on the top there. And then, let's see, some cracked salt and pepper to taste. That's the salt, and then some pepper. And then in the vinaigrette too, you can add a pinch of salt and pepper. To the recipe there. Now we're gonna put this on the side. So this is the important part for our featured ingredient, our secret ingredient tonight. Do you guys used to watch that show? It was the Japanese cooking show that they always had a secret ingredient, and the guy used to be so excited to reveal what the secret ingredient was. Do you guys watch that? I can't see you. I can't see the chat, so you guys can. Yeah, Iron Chef. That's what it's called, Iron Chef. That's right. So he would be, this our secret ingredient is, and you go, oh. And then they have all of their recipes have to include that. So for back to our secret ingredient, you can just cut it up into 2-inch pieces, just regular straight. Or if you want to be fancy, you could do it diagonal, and that just gives it another dimension and look to it. I already cut the stems. So it's basically in 3. Is what you're gonna cut it. So again, I have the water boiling because we're gonna put it right into the hot water, and we're gonna time it for 60 seconds. You definitely don't want to overcook it in this recipe, because you want it to be, you want it to be able to snap and be a little crunchy. So let me get my trivet here. And then I'm going to bring the hot water here. We're going to put it in. We're all going to count to 60. And then we're going to dump it right into some iced water. Which I have right here. You want to get it right into the ice water so that it can stop cooking. And that helps to keep the color of the really nice green color of the asparagus. Okay, so who has the timer? Somebody ready? Whoops, I lost one. Somebody ready? Okay, ready, set, time. I'm gonna find the one I lost. This is hot water, so it's gonna kill anything that may have been on my floor. Okay, I'm counting on you guys. I hope you guys are timing because I didn't time it. I'm gonna just guess if nobody was timing.
Got 25 seconds left.
Okay, thank you. And I just got my scoop and drain in about a week and a half ago. I'm so excited. I'm going to use that tonight. So you just let it in there. for 60 seconds, and then just put it right into the ice cold water. And then we're gonna pat it dry and add it to our dish there. Was that 60 seconds?
Yes, your timer's
Oh,
going
yeah.
off.
Yeah, so you should be able to just snap it, and it should break fairly easy. So it's a little tender on the outside, but it'll still have a crunch. So this, I would say, is the most important part, because again, you don't want it to be soggy. And of course, the easier way would be to just drain it with a colander, but I wanted to use my scoop and drain because I never used it yet. Let me get this back over here. And then I'm just gonna take it out, put it right onto my towel. Very cold, very cold. Guess I could have used the scoop and drain again. And then we're gonna toss this into the salad. And then the last thing we need to do is make our dressing, our vinaigrette dressing. And then for the vinaigrette dressing, we need our quick shake, which is part of a whole skiff special right now. Now for this dressing, it calls for a 1/4 cup of virgin olive oil or olive oil. The recipe says champagne vinegar. I've never used the champagne vinegar. I don't even know what that is. You could basically use any type of vinegar. Like, so in my house, I have this red wine vinegar. But tonight I wanted to try this vinegar. It's a mango pulp vinegar. And where Ciara, my daughter, is in Alaska, they have this store called Oil and Vinegar. I don't know if it's in if that store is in some of the areas that you folks are at, but they sell all kinds of vinegars, all kinds of different flavors, and they import it from Italy. So this one is a mango. It tastes so good. It has like a sweet, tangy flavor. So I'm going to use that tonight in the recipe. So we need a 1/4 cup of the extra virgin olive oil, and then 1/8 of a cup of any vinegar, your favorite vinegar. The red vinegar is perfectly fine, and it's just half of this because this is a 1/4 cup. And then we need half the juice of half of a lemon, and a 1/4 teaspoon of dried lime. So we need the lemon that I zested. I'm going to use half of that. If I can find my knife. Just squeeze that right in there. Table is so high, or I'm so short. And it's closer, maybe. Hello. And a pinch of salt and pepper. I know what to do with my salt and pepper. Let me just, oh, that's a pinch. And then it calls for a 1/4 teaspoon of dried thyme. I didn't have dried thyme in my house, but I have this 21 seasoning from Trader Joe's. So I'm just gonna use that because this is the only thing that had thyme in my house, but it's really flavorful, so can't go wrong there. Just a 1/4 teaspoon. So very little. And then we're gonna shake that up. Let me close my vinegar. Oh, I wish you guys could taste this. If you guys have an oil and vinegar store nearby, you guys should check it out and pick up some of this mango vinegar. It's so good. And then we just shake it up. Oil, vinegar, lemon, the thyme, and some salt and pepper. And then I have to add the asparagus to here. So that's everything in the bowl here. I'm gonna quickly cut up my last cucumber. Don't want this one feeling lonely. And then the feta cheese, so we're gonna just dump all of the sauce right on top. And then you want to let this sit for about an hour in the refrigerator. So this is something you would need to make in advance because you want everything to blend together. I want to get it all out of here. In here. And then when you're ready to serve is when you're going to mix in 1/2 cup of the feta cheese. Need a bigger spoon. So you want to make sure you get everything mixed up really nicely. And can you guys see that? The pretty colors in there? And then like I said earlier, you could add protein and stuff to this, like chicken and salmon or even ahi, tuna, or fresh tuna or even canned tuna to this, like some kind of protein to the dish. You think that may not didn't look like a whole lot of sauce, but it is. But if you like it a lot with a lot more dressing, you can most definitely double the recipe and do that. So I'm gonna just serve some in here just to show you guys. You guys love chickpeas. I love chickpeas. My daughter doesn't like chickpeas. So when you're ready to serve again, you would just mix up the feta cheese in here. But because I'm just making one small bowl to show you guys. So that's the pasta, the asparagus, chopped asparagus salad recipe. And then how are you doing, Ciara, on your end? Are you ready to mix everything together?
Almost. I'm just working on my sauce. I had a little oopsie earlier, so I had to kind of start over. So I have 2 cups, honestly about 1.5 cups now of cream. And then I'm going to take my 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. I'm going to add that in here. I'm also going to take all of my lemon zest and add that in here as well.
What was your oopsie, if I might ask, since I am the mother?
To put stuff in the sink, and all I heard was whoosh, and it overflowed a little.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely don't take your eye off of it when it's heating up. So I'm currently mixing in the 2 cups of heavy cream, 1/2 cup of Parmesan, my lemon zest, and I'm also going to add my salmon that I broke up. So I'm going to add that into the pot. And then I'm going to let it soak up a little. And then in the meantime, my noodles and asparagus are done. My asparagus cooked a little faster than the pasta, so I just took the asparagus off and then I popped it back in the microwave for 2 minutes. And then I drained out the water from the pasta and I just stuck it back in the base. So now I'm gonna add my asparagus in here. And then now I'm gonna add my sauce mixture right back into here with my noodles, my asparagus, and then my salmon and sauce. And then I'm gonna gently fold it in all together. Okay. And then can you guys see? Oh, wow, the light. Okay, hold on.
How about that? Is that better?
Delicious.
Perfect. Okay. So then I'm just going to plate it in my bowl, and then I made a garlic bread that I'm just going to serve with it. And then we'll be good to go.
How's it looking? How's it looking? Okay, so while she's finishing up there, I am making the sauce for the stuffed salmon and asparagus using the microwave pitcher set. I melted a tablespoon of butter, and then in the 1 cup right now, I'm mixing up 2 teaspoons of cornstarch and 1 cup, half a cup of chicken broth. And then we're gonna put it back into the 2 cup and then heat this up for about a minute in the microwave to get it thick, because this is what we're gonna drizzle over the salmon. Well, tell us, how does it taste, daughter? Oops, forgot the cover.
It's good. I probably could have cooked my pasta a little bit longer, just like maybe another minute, but it's still definitely good. And I think once it soaks up all of the sauce, it'll be even better. But it's definitely good. I highly recommend trying this recipe. It's super easy. I mean, come on, guys. I almost burned my sauce. So if I can do it, you guys can totally do it too. Simple ingredients. You just pop everything in the microwave. You heat up your sauce and you just toss it all together and you're good to go.
Okay, so I got 20 more seconds on my sauce, and then I just checked on the salmon. It's looking really good. So when the sauce is done, I'm gonna pull out the salmon, put one on the plate here, put some sauce on just so we can finish up and show it all to you guys. We have all of the recipes already completed, and we will share them with you. I know asparagus, like I was kind of taking a survey the last couple of days on who likes asparagus, and it's kind of a 50-50 thing. So I was kind of bummed because I love asparagus, and May 24th actually is National Asparagus Day, you guys. So on May 24th, for the consultants on here, maybe you folks can do some of these recipes on your lives to recognize that day. Today, I checked. Do you guys know what national holiday today is? No, it's actually National Beverage Day. So we could have had a beverage today. Oh, Tina has a beverage. Who else has a beverage out there? I don't have
a bottle, right? I mean, open.
So I melted the butter for about 15 to 20 seconds. And then when I added the chicken broth and the cornstarch, I did it for about a minute. And then you just kind of stir it and it gets thick. It gets thicker as you just stir and then you let it sit. It's getting thicker and thicker. So this also depends on the wattage of your microwave. But starting at a minute, I don't think you would go wrong starting at a minute there. Now let me get the salmon. I'm gonna knock things over. Let me get the salmon out of the oven.
Yep.
I got it. Thank you. So let me just show this to you guys. So that's it all right there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different fillets. Now the other thing that you can do is you can prepare this in advance and freeze them in your freezer mates, and then you could just cook, you know, 2 if you're a family of 2, or 3 if you're a family of 3. This is something that that will freeze for about a week or so. Whoops, that's gonna break up. Of course, if you let it sit after you take it out of the oven, it won't fall apart too much. So I'm gonna grab my spatula. Because definitely if I use the tongs, it would have flopped. Here we go. Everybody hold your breath. So this is ricotta cheese. I'm gonna get the last of that cheese right in here. Ricotta cheese stuffed with some salmon and asparagus. And I have our cold chopped asparagus salad. Ciara has her pasta there. Did you make your garlic bread? Oh, you said?
I did.
Oh, yeah. So these are 3 recipes that we're sharing with you folks that have asparagus in it. Obviously, you don't have to do it with asparagus, but you know, you should get some vegetables in your dishes. It's good for you. So that's what we have, Tina, for tonight.
Wow, those are some spectacular recipes. They really are. But you know what? You both made it look so easy, and with the right Tupperware tools, it's so easy to cook. I always ask myself so often, how do people cook without Tupperware, right?
Right.
So, Fran, you've got 2 people you're cooking for. You've got 5 of those beautiful bundles. Are you freezing them, like you said, or are you going to feed the neighborhood?
Well, I'm gonna bring my niece at work wants one, and then we will probably freeze the other 3. I should have thought about it in advance and freeze it, put it in the freezer uncooked, but this will be fine too, and then we can just microwave it when we're ready. You can actually microwave it, reheat it in the grill.
Yes.
The microwave grill. Yeah.
Like if I make chicken cordon bleu and I make them in advance and I go ahead and cook them and then I reheat them in the microwave grill. So that's a perfect way to reheat. That's a fast dinner then. It really is. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank
And
you.
it took about 15, 20 minutes. Yeah.
And I'm hoping Karen got some good pictures. She's always just double check and make sure she's on. Karen, did you get some good pictures?
Oh, she's muted.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she's talking. Karen, are you talking? You're muted.
I took some pictures, but because the lighting on my camera is kind of hazy, it's not as sharp as when you're looking at it. But you see a collection. But
I'm sure it'll be beautiful. And we'll be posting the recipes. You can look in the albums under event recipes. All right. And that's where you will see that. All right, everybody. Well, thanks so much. Have a great, great night, everybody. Enjoy.
Aloha.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, ladies. It was
Thank you.
amazing.
Beautiful demo.
Uh-huh.
And asparagus is my favorite. So thank
Oh,
you.